Views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
There's something that can be done as a possibility and it's going to benefit, then we'll try to connect those dots. You know what you're capable of, you've run at that pace, and now you have to redirect. Welcome to Moments of Strength. I'm your host, Mary Kaufman. In this show, we celebrate the incredible resilience of mothers, showing up through life's challenges, growing through every triumph, and carving out space for their own passions and identity. We're here to uplift and reassure every mom that you are not alone, and asking for help is a powerful strength. Each episode brings a story of motherhood's beautiful chaos. I'm happy you can join us for today's inspiring journey. And today's guest is Tynetta. Tynetta, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's so nice to meet you in person.
Yes.
After we had that conversation. And actually, you learned about the show through another guest that we had, Keziah. And so that was a fun connection to make. And I want to point out your sweatshirt.
Thank you.
So appropriate for the show.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Just a reminder about the layout of the show, and the aim of the show is really to uplift other moms and parents, whoever's watching, with stories of life experience that help them feel less alone. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they can pull some strength, some strategies, support, and just a feeling of community, because as moms, you know, we're always at home wondering if we're the only person going through something. So these lived experiences can help somebody understand that, you know, they're not the first person to experience that. They're probably doing okay, and maybe there are some other ways they can try things.
Yes.
So the way that we do that is have you talk a little bit about your childhood, as much or as little as you want to share, and then it sort of naturally unfolds into your journey to and through motherhood.
Okay.
So thank you for coming.
Of course. Thank you for having me again.
And then if you can just begin in the beginning, whatever you would like to share.
So I had a really good childhood. Mm-hmm. I was raised by my mom, my dad, and my grandmother. Mm-hmm. I love them so much. They did an amazing job. And so I literally, when I started off with life, I want to say that my mom is a single mom, and she initially I was fairly sick as a kid, I'll start to say. And so because I was so sick, my mom actually was taking me to different hospitals around the city to try to figure out what was going on with me. So at 1 year old, actually, I had a heart surgery. Something called a VSD repair. And I've been fairly good since then. And I'll share a little bit of that journey when I got pregnant with my son. But my childhood was pretty good. I got to play all the sports. I did golf and cross country and track. I played the piano. I played the harp.
The harp, I don't hear that often.
Yes, there was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up. In elementary school, I went to Milwaukee Public Schools for my schooling, and they used to have an opportunity where you could play different instruments.
Sure.
And I decided to choose the harp that time around, and it was really fun, very beautiful instrument.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
I loved it. And I'm searching now as an adult on how I can start to play again.
Yes, do it.
So I would say that, my childhood was really good. I sang in choirs pretty much my whole childhood, and I got to do the normal things.
Were you an only child, or did you have siblings?
So I do have siblings. I'm actually the oldest of 4 on my mom's side and 10 on my dad's side.
Oh my goodness.
So yes, I'm the oldest, and I felt a lot of responsibility as the oldest.
You're like pseudo mom.
Yes, to ensure I'm doing the right thing, and just to make sure that I'm showing my siblings like what's possible.
Yeah, that is the responsibility of the oldest. Yeah,
for sure.
To demonstrate. Often they don't know that, and they don't behave that way.
Yes.
So you try everything, and then that's another way for the younger kids to learn is what you run into.
Yes.
So so you played the sports, and And that was all through school. So
yes,
even
I
through high
played.
school.
So I did the sports in high school, and I did the choirs and the instruments elementary, middle school. I went to Roosevelt Middle School of Arts, and so I majored in singing there. And then when I went to Riverside University High School, where I went for high school, I did choir there as well, and then I did the sports.
Okay, that's awesome. And so, so did you split time at your parents' house?
Yeah, so my
how did that-
dad technically was still in Milwaukee at the time, and so we split time. Like, we would go with our dad, like, on the weekends or something like that, because, you know, school was school, and that was a priority for both of my parents, is to ensure that we were doing our best that we could education-wise, and so they did not play when it comes to school and the time and ensuring that we're there and getting things done. So, yes, we did split time with both of them.
Yeah, so we have a blended family too, and my older girls were with us during the week and then went to their dad's on the weekend too.
Okay.
For similar reasons. I mean, he's a little bit further away, and you know, you do the best interest of the kids and then try to organize all of that. So,
Yes.
So yeah. Well, it seemed like that worked out for you.
Yeah, it worked out. It's fine.
Good. Yeah. Okay, and then what happened after high school?
So after high school, I went to college. I graduated from Alverno College, and I got my bachelor's there for communication.
Okay.
And it was my last year, or my last semester, that I actually walked across the stage pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, did you?
8 months pregnant. Walked across the stage very proud with a very huge belly. Everybody was worried that I was going to have her because I was so big already. But of course, no. She was born January 22nd of 2015.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's a lot to take on, and, you know, work through a pregnancy while you're in school too, and just try to manage all of that, and especially with your first, because you don't know, you know, it's your first experience with that, and you're trying to be good at that, and be good at school, and finish, and Okay, so your daughter came, and I mean, that changes us forever, you know?
Absolutely. My life changed forever once I had my daughter. I would say both of my kids, though, they just light a fire in me to keep going and to do all the things and do all the things with them on the side of me. And so for my daughter, when she came in, you know, I'm fresh from having a bachelor's degree, and I'm already trying to pressure myself to take some time to relax and just be a mom because, like I said, the fire is still in me. I know that I'm supposed to do great things. There are great things to come, but, like, now I'm a parent. And so I sat down for at least 6 months with her, just worked and being a mom. And then eventually I applied for a program with Marquette University. They had a leadership program. And I went through this leadership program for about 6 months to a year and finished that program there. It was like a community program where you can come in and you pretty much was with other leaders in the community, and you got to do a community project. And so we did the community project. Things went great. Finished off that, and then I decided to go for my master's degree. So I went for my master's degree, and probably I would say three months into the degree, I ended up stopping. So the reason why I stopped is because I noticed with my daughter, her development was a little different. I noticed that she wasn't talking as much as the other kids in her classroom. I noticed that she was flapping her hands, and at the time I didn't know what that was, but that's called stimming. And I remember just thinking to myself, like, like, I know something is going on, but I'm not sure what.
And how old was she a year at this time?
At this point, she is 2 years old.
Oh, 2, okay. And so did you notice anything prior to that? Or sometimes we don't notice if your kids aren't around, you know, like a group of kids, especially as a new mom, first-time mom.
So for me, the only flag was that when we completed the ASQ3 and the ASQ SE was that she was in the black for communication every time.
Okay.
Any other thing was pretty normal to me because we also know that sometimes it's not necessarily a diagnosis, a diagnosis attached. Sometimes it's just that kids learn a little later in life. And so with her doctor, we had already had conversation We noticed that her communication skills were not there, which led to eventually a referral being done for the IFSP for birth to 3. And it was actually for communication or speech. And so I remember when I got the evaluation done for her initially, we were at her child care facility. We were somewhat in like a playroom, as I like to say. So Amari Lee did not do the best when it came to the testing at the time. And I remember going, well, they said they thought she needed special education. I said, she doesn't need special education. I don't think so. I said, let's do the exam at home so you can see all the things that I see. I said, I think that because we're in a playful space, she just wants to play.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
And so we did the exam at home, flying colors. She was like, oh, I don't think she needs a special education teacher, so we let it there. But I noticed that with the speech, she was still not improving as quickly as I thought she would. I mean, we're 2 months now into the IFSP. Not much has changed besides I'm learning more so what she needs and being able to communicate that to other folks rather than her communicating her needs.
Got it.
And so the last straw was pretty much I was having a conversation with a coworker who I was telling her all the things about my daughter. And I realized, she said, hey, have you considered that she has autism? She sounds like my other clients. In the moment, I'm taken back.
Yeah.
Because I remember going, I don't think she has anything like that. I don't think it's that. I think she's just taking her time to develop and learn.
Sure.
But like I said, not knowing that she's showing clear indicators, right? I knew something was going on, but I didn't know to what extent.
Right.
And so eventually, because I'm the researcher I am, because I do all the things, I did some parent surveys. I did about 3 parent surveys on my own. And the last survey we was at Omega's, and they said to give her like some type of like package or something to see what she could do with those things. Omega's a restaurant. So we were just having some bonding time. And she lined all the items up.
Yeah.
And of course, when I pressed submit, it said high risk consult with doctor. That was my 3rd time that now the survey has said it. And so I decided to call her doctor. And I told her, hey, I'm going to go get her tested for autism. And she said, no, wait a minute. Stop, come in first. Let's have a conversation. Because we also know that sometimes kids are overly diagnosed with things.
Sure,
like that doesn't necessarily, sometimes they just have a sensory need. Sometimes they have speech. It doesn't necessarily mean that they need something else. And so.
And as a parent who hadn't experienced that before, it's nice to have some guidance from some experienced people, but also to have that, that gut feeling, like you mentioned that.
Yes.
You had this feeling. And so that's a hard balance to strike, because you want to sometimes trust the experts, of course, but also keep your mother's intuition with that.
And that's why I decided to do it on my own, though. That's why I was like, let me do these parent surveys first to see. Let me do these things. Let me do this research.
Yeah.
And I realized the more and more I was doing research, the more and more it sounded just like my daughter. Like, it sounded like this is exactly what she had. I had a dream that she got the diagnosis, so it was clear to me that this was coming, but it was a different thing to actually be in person with the professionals and hearing that she actually had the diagnosis. So her doctor ended up giving me the place to go, because I did another parent survey with her. It said high risk consult doctor. She gave me the referral. I went to AIM Intervention, it's Autism Intervention Milwaukee in Tulsa, in Wauwatosa. And I remember being in there. The test was 3 hours. My mom came with me because my mom's biggest thing was like, she had been through something before as a mother, getting a diagnosis.
Right.
And it's hard when you get the diagnosis and trying to figure this out on your own, And so I told my mom, like, hey, let's go. I mean, you can come, no problem.
Yeah. And
boom, that day, after 3 hours, the doctor told us, hey, she's going to be diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder level 2. And in that moment, I froze as a parent. I literally cried, even though I knew.
It's a different,
It's a different thing to actually be in the room with the professional to hear it. And my mom ended up asking the follow-up question right after. It was like, okay, what does that mean?
Yes.
And so the lady explained to us more about autism spectrum disorder and what we could do, which was ABA. And
can you say what that is?
Yeah, so ABA is applied behavioral analysis. It's a type of therapy that pretty much, the easiest way I can describe it, it helps to support the behavior of the kids. Kind of trying to normalize things for kids who have autism. And so, for example, we created a plan with the ABA company, and there were certain things they wanted to address, which was like some of her self-help skills, which was going to the bathroom or brushing her teeth or having her to wait a certain period of time. So there were certain goals and things eventually that came with it, but they recommended ABA therapy. They were an ABA therapy company, but they were full at the time. And after my mom had asked the question, the lady had answered. I remember asking her, okay, did that mean she got this for the rest of her life? Does that mean that like there's no surgery, there's no medications, there's no nothing? You mean to tell me like this is something that my daughter is going to be dealing with for the rest of her life? Was something that I just, in my brain, I was like, wow. Like I didn't realize that was like that's it.
Right, yes.
And the interesting part, after I got her diagnosis, I remember I went to work. I went to work because everybody knows I work a lot. And so I went to work, and I remember telling my supervisor at the time, and she was saying, well, you know, make sure you connect with folks within our organization. Just have a conversation with them to see, you know, what they say, or just to see like what recommendations they would have for you, because I work for a public charter school network. And they have over 23 schools across the nation. And so I actually flew out to Washington, D.C. the next day to one of our campuses in Washington, D.C. And I remember talking to the special education teacher, and she just was giving me more information around maybe what her educational journey would look like. She was giving me information around ABA again, once again, might be a good choice, like just giving me all the information. And so I remember the whole time in DC, I did things as self-care. I remember I rode the bike down towards the Capitol, and it was actually a protest going on during that time. I remember going to go eat dinner alone and just really trying to process the fact that my daughter had this diagnosis now. That this was something that was like in the flesh happening right now. And I did all the research, and eventually, before I left from Washington, I applied for her to go to ABA. So I ended up applying for her to go to WEAP, which is Wisconsin Early Autism Project. She got in a month later. And then we started our journey with ABA therapy.
And she's 10 now.
She's 10 years old now.
And how has that been going?
It's been going really good, actually. So she graduated from WEAP. She went to Total Spectrum because they're like sister companies. So she did some ABA with them. She's actually starting with a new company as we were talking about right before the show. And so things are going good. Her educational journey looked a little different. So academically, she's really good. She was really good. She was even ahead. That's why the special education teacher, when we went for the IFSP, that's why they thought that she didn't need special education. Because academically, she was fine. Like once we got her home and she actually got to go through everything, fine. So I did start her off in school at 3 years old, and I ended up pulling her like a month later. I decided to just go through ABA all the way until she was 4. And then I decided to put her into a school. So I put her in public charter school. She did amazing there. And then I decided I wanted to find her something a little different, a little something that could provide some extra supports for her, because we really like music therapy. And so I ended up finding a school for her in Hell's Corner called Journeys Lutheran. And it's been a great change for her. It's been a journey. It was hard for her initially, you know, because she had been at the school for years, and that was what she was used to. But the love that they give her, the care they give her, just willing to work with her, just the class size she's in something where there's only 8 other students in the classroom, there's 2 teachers, like that truly changed the trajectory of her education. Because she really has that smaller classroom. They get music therapy, they get art therapy, and it's a lot going on within the school. They do amazing work, and so I feel like that's truly helped a lot. My biggest thing as a parent was to make sure too that she was able to get a high school diploma. So at Journeys, it's 3rd through 12th.
Oh, okay.
And so she will get a high school diploma and all the things. I'm grateful at this point. She's doing amazing. I love to call her my little sassy cat. Because sometimes when she gets upset, she hisses, you know. And I'm like, Mari, just go take a break or something, you know.
See the sign.
But yeah, she's doing amazing. She's doing amazing.
You know, as a mom, like so much of that is a result of your just tenacity and figuring it out.
Yes.
And like you said, you know, it's like we want to know, but then you also don't want to know.
Yes.
And so it's struggling with, I was right. Dang it, you know, I was right. And so much of motherhood is that. And everybody doesn't really understand what the steps are to take that, you know. Thankfully, you had some support, you know, in your own mom who had been through something like that with you, and just your own strength to go after that. And I think it doesn't mean that, you know, moms who don't do that aren't interested. I think a lot of that is they don't understand. They don't know where the resources are. If somebody were struggling with that or thought maybe they knew something was off, do you have a recommendation for them if they didn't feel equipped, like maybe a first step, you know? And this gets seen not just here, you know, but internally maybe what is something they can do and then a first step. And sorry to put you on the spot.
No,
we didn't talk about this.
that's totally fine. This is my thing. As I tell people, I love to help people. And so my first step would be to just remember that you're always going to be their first teacher. But then 2, remember that any step that you take will affect their life, their educational journey. They're like, as a parent, that was something that really stuck with me. Becoming a parent is me realizing that literally everything I do could affect my child.
Yes.
And you literally have the power to change things for your child. So when you feel like something is going on, it doesn't seem right, go to a doctor. Because you cannot be the person that diagnosed them.
Right.
If there is something going on. I think a lot of times, I could say even from when I first started with my journey, with my daughter's diagnosis, it was a denial period, right?
For sure.
And so sometimes I feel like we're in denial about the fact that our kids need a little bit more help. It's okay to get the help. It's okay that our kids are different. It just means that their future might look a little different. Her goals are a little different. It doesn't necessarily mean she's not going to be and do and say all the amazing things, but it's just going to look a little different, right? And so I would definitely just say, go talk to your doctor right away. Let them know that what you're seeing and just asking them, like, what do I do? Because if I had not, I know what I did. I did the parent surveys and things, and I probably didn't even need to do all that. But it's just me as the person I am, the researcher I am. I needed to see it for myself, right? So I would definitely recommend going to a doctor. If you're saying something like, I tell folks though, well, autism, your doctor cannot diagnose autism. They have to go to a specialist, which there are a lot of companies around Wisconsin that can help to diagnose. I've went through ABA companies. You can go through an ABA company to get a diagnosis if you haven't received one yet.
So that would be a good first step.
Yes.
And then I think it's okay to grieve what you thought life was going to be like. Because, first of all, we never know until our child gets here. But it's human nature to have this sort of idyllic version of how motherhood's going to go and how everything's going to turn out and what our kids are going to be like. And if you're a mom, you know it doesn't turn out that way. But you have to take some time to just acceptance, what I thought something was going to be isn't going to be that.
Yes.
This is reality. I have intentions for my kids to live their best lives. I'm the source that can help them get there. I don't know everything.
Yes.
But, if you have the intention for your kids to live a good life, you can dig deep and find resources to help you do that.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is too, like, because I had that moment, right, of like, wow, like, what does my daughter's future even look like? Her future is still bright.
Yes.
She's still going to do amazing things. Just don't forget that. I think sometimes when we get the diagnosis, we just feel like, oh my gosh, like, they're not going to be who we want them to be. We want our kids to be exactly who they're supposed to be.
Of course.
Right? And so their future, our plans, are not necessarily their plans.
No. And they aren't even if they don't have autism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that was the big piece for me of like, I know what I wanted for her dream wise, and she's still going to be amazing. She's doing amazing things now, future wise. I know she's going to do all the things. It's just, it's going to look a little differently for her, and that's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That doesn't, I think it's important to say too, that doesn't define, when your child gets a diagnosis, doesn't define your parenting. It doesn't.
No, right.
It doesn't define your parenting. It doesn't define, you did something wrong.
Right.
Sometimes things happen in development that we just cannot help, right? And I know sometimes there have even been conversations around family, whether it being in running in a family and things of that sort has come up too. But just remember that they can still have an amazing life. They can still accomplish amazing things.
Yeah.
Just might have to do a little bit more extra work, and that's okay.
And you can and should enjoy them just as who they are.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So then when you were going to have your second baby, let's see, she said, so she was close to 6?
Yes.
Okay. And how did that go?
So my pregnancy with my son was high risk. And so literally a day after my birthday, I went into an appointment and they told me that I was at high risk for heart failure.
Oh my gosh. You yourself?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And that changed everything. Because let me just put into perspective that I am literally a month away from graduating with my master's degree at that time. And my doctor told me 1 month. And my doctor told me, you have to stop. You have to stop. Because your health is not in the great place that we want it to be. And we don't want anything to happen to you or your son. So you have to put the things down. I said, okay. In this moment, I'm just believing in God.
Yeah.
Because
what other choice?
Everything is happening right now. Like, I was in really a great spot. And then after that, I was at the doctor pretty much each month, them checking my levels and doing all the things.
What were you, can I ask, like, what was going through your head during that time? Because that is a huge piece of information someone just gave you.
I was just blown away, to be honest. Like, I'm in an appointment, like, what did you just say to me? You said I'm at risk for what?
Yeah.
Like, I've been good all this time, which I stated in the beginning, right? I have been good all this time up to now with my son. It was during the pregnancy with my son that I found out all the things wrong with my heart.
Yes.
I had no clue. That's why I said I lived a normal childhood. I did all the things.
When you were young, did you know you had that heart surgery?
Yes.
But just not to the extent or like what had come? Okay.
Correct. Okay. So I literally had to go see a cardiologist every year.
Yes.
And I had to take, it was like around 8 pills when I went to the dentist. That was literally the only difference. So I didn't think this was,
of course,
this would be coming up. And it was my primary doctor who sat down with me to say, hey, these are the issues of your heart. Did you know? No, I didn't. Because I lived a pretty normal life.
Yeah, and you'd already had a baby.
And I already had a baby. I didn't have any complications with my daughter, besides the fact that she was breached.
Okay,
so she was sitting like, the only way I can describe it was it was like she was sitting in a chair.
Yes.
Her head was up.
My first daughter was the same. Yeah.
Her head was up.
And I was like, okay. I feel like her personality is still that. Yeah.
That's why I said my little sassy.
Yeah.
Little sassy baby. But yeah, my son, like, I ended up being high risk and dealing with all these health things and being in and out of the doctor and having certain, I had a procedure when I was pregnant because they wanted to make sure they could check the levels of everything. And it was during that procedure, it was only supposed to be around 30 minutes to an hour. I ended up being on a table for about 2.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And that was the first time that I also learned that I had a lot of things different with my body, because I remember the surgeon who came in to talk to me after was like, hey, I had never even seen a body like yours, because I have something called mesocardia, so my heart is also turned. It's in a different spot. That's why I said I knew that certain things were happening with my heart, but I had no clue, like the full extent of it. And then my son was born on October 25th and 2021, and that's around, as I would like to say, another pivotal moment of my life came, because I gave birth to him, and I would say I got out the hospital Wednesday. On Friday, I knew something was wrong. And I remember calling the cardiologist. They had the cardiologist that was on call plus the cardiologist at Children's Hospital on standby.
Okay.
Because I told them I know something's wrong, I feel it. And what they ended up doing was prescribing me medication. So they prescribed me, I think at the time I was taking around 5 meds at that point.
Wow.
And I went to my cardiologist the next week. We did a regular exam. Everything looked fine. But then the Friday came. Again, another Friday comes, and I'm still not feeling good. And I remember calling my mom to tell her, hey, Mom, I know something is seriously wrong. I have to go to the hospital. I know something is wrong.
Yeah.
And I went into the hospital. I stayed in the hospital almost to 3 a.m. And right when I'm getting ready to discharge, all my machines go off.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sitting there, and nurses and doctors are running in the room, and they was like, you don't feel that? I said, yes, I feel something. I don't feel good, but what's going on? And I had a VTAC. Interestingly enough.
And what is that for people who don't know?
So VTAC is pretty much when your heart is racing uncontrollably. It like an amount, in a not a normal amount. And so my heart is racing at this point. Hits the machines. I have a VTAC, and this is my second VTAC, interestingly enough. My first VTAC, I didn't even know I was having a VTAC.
Oh my gosh.
Because the hard thing with VTACs is you have to catch them like on a monitor. Like there's not something where you could be at home and say, I'm having a VTAC.
Okay.
Because your heart can race and all the other things. But I had one actually a month, I would say a month after, so my month point of being pregnant with Tyler Jace.
Okay.
I had one then. And I called the ambulance. So now I know, like after the fact, like this is what I had the first time, because I felt it the same way.
Yes.
But the first time I had it was literally then. And I remember calling the ambulance come. They tell me they think I have anxiety. They say, oh, you got anxiety. I said, no, that's not anxiety. The VTAC woke me up out my sleep.
Oh, yeah.
My vision was blurry. I felt like I was going to pass out in the house. And I remember talking to God. God, I need you. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on, but I need to be able to be here for my kids, right? My daughter's in the room asleep. She has no clue what's going on. And even if she was to get up, she wouldn't necessarily know what to do.
Sure.
In case of an emergency situation, you know?
Yeah, of course.
But I was able, thank God I was up by the time the paramedics came. Like I said, they thought it was anxiety. And then I go to the doctor, and that's when she tells me all the things wrong with my heart. And now I'm back.
Back at it.
Back at it in this emergency room. My machines are flying off.
It's crazy that they're making all that noise and you're like just coherently talking about like asking what's going on.
Yeah, I had no clue. Like all the machines going off and all these people running in and out, and I'm literally like,
is it about me?
Is this me? Like, and it was. And they admitted me then. I self-discharged the next day because I tell the doctors, I said, hey, I have a newborn at home.
Yeah.
He's not even a week. And I have my 10-year-old, you know, my baby at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, my daughter, I'm like, I have to get home to my kids. Like, fix whatever you need to fix and let me go.
Right.
It just seemed like I was there for
I know those visits are like just
an extended
dragging
stay
out.
for nothing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so me not knowing, though, it wasn't for nothing, though. I had a new diagnosis, but they had not told me. So as I'm getting ready to discharge, the cardiologist come in, he gives me a lengthy talk about how I need to change my life, how I need to do these things and do that. I said, okay, got it. You're going to start these medications. Okay, got it. And then he hands me the paper to discharge. And at the top it says heart failure.
Oh my God.
Never told me I actually had heart failure, but literally told me all the things that I needed to do to change things. So I remember asking the nurse, because I was really cool with the nurse at this point, because she had been coming in and out the room. And I said, hey, does this mean I got heart failure? Or like, what does this mean? Because he didn't say heart failure. He just literally said to me, hey, like, this is all the things you have to change.
Yeah.
And she was like, if it says on top of the paper, I said, I don't know about this. I said, let me just wait, because I knew I had to meet with my cardiologist 3 weeks after I'd been in the hospital. And so I received all the phone calls, of course, after talking to the doctors, and never once again said heart failure. And then I have to tell my mom. So I wait a couple days, and I tell my mom what the paper says. And that's hard for my mama.
Of course.
Because I'm her oldest. I'm also the one that already had thoughts. So this is my second heart thing at this point. And still did not get confirmation until 3 weeks later when I went to my cardiologist. And he's just talking to the student, because, you know, Freighter is a teaching hospital, and so they have students. So he's talking to him. And I just said, excuse me, do I have heart failure? He said, yes, you have compensated heart failure. And I'm like, so when was somebody actually going to tell me that? Because this discharge paper said heart failure at the top, but that's not what the doctor actually told me. And then I'm asking you, and you're telling me this is exactly what I have. So that was a pivotal moment for me, because now this is my second heart something I'm dealing with, right? Second heart disease. And that changed everything for me. There was so much going on. At that point, I was like on 10 medications a day. I was literally trying to process what had just happened to me. Processing that, processing I'm a single mom, processing
Your
that
baby is just new?
new baby. And I have my baby at home, though.
Yes.
You know, I have my princess. So I'm just like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I got to figure this out.
I didn't know you could have heart failure and like talk about it and know that.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
Like, I am still flabbergasted at the whole experience. And I just really feel like, honestly, I feel like that was nothing but God. For me to be up in the hospital talking to them was nothing but God. Because they were just as confused as I was on how I was communicating with them through this VTAC that I was having.
Yes.
And clearly, everything is going off in here, you know? And so that, and then I remember my doctor at that point, my primary doctor, heard about the diagnosis at that point and was like, yeah, you need to meet with like a nurse or somebody. And I want to shout out to all my family and my friends who helped me during that time, because I also, just in context, had a C-section.
Oh my gosh, I've had 4. I understand. It's
The recovery.
First of all, yes. Well, you weren't having that. You were not recovering. No. It's like any minute that's just going to open up again.
Yes. So I'm literally trying to heal from a C-section, trying to deal with the fact that I have this new heart condition, trying to, all the things, right? And so I'm talking to a therapist at that point, because my primary doctor was like, you have to talk to somebody. Because this is a hard new normal, right? To be able to really deal with. And
Any one of those things.
Anything, right?
Just one of them would have been a lot.
Yes. And so I really lean on my family and my friends, who literally would come to my house to pick up my daughter to take her to school for me, or them just to come over to clean up my house for me, or them coming to just spend time with my son so I can get in the shower. I wouldn't have been able to get through that.
No.
Without my support system. My support system really helped me through that. And then I was having difficulty breathing. And I remember having to go to the doctor. This time they decided to send me to a pulmonologist, so a doctor that specializes in lungs. So I go to the lung doctor because I'm having difficulty breathing, and at that time they had first gave me an asthma pump and said, try the asthma pump. Trying the asthma pump, not really working. And so we went and did a test to see would the asthma pump actually work. It actually didn't, because they ran the test 3 times, and pretty much when I took the asthma pump, it did not increase the oxygen or the breathing like it needed to be.
Yeah.
So on the average, they said it usually will help by 15-20%. 3 tests done, and mine was only 8.
Oh dear, yeah.
So they said that's not going to help. And I knew I needed to do something a little differently. So interestingly enough, the doctor there says, have you heard of Mayo Clinic? I said, actually, I have. And I was doing some research. I was thinking I might want to go there. And he's like, yeah, I think you should go there because I'm young and I'm dealing with all these things in my body. And I felt like even at the doctor that I was at, they had the top cardiologists on my case. They had all these, yes, I'm on 10 meds a day, all these things, but there was nothing improving. What they pretty much told me was I was going to be on medication for the rest of my life, and that's it. And so I decided to sign up and was able to go through Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. And so I traveled 4.5 hours, had 10 appointments.
Oh my gosh.
10 appointments.
How old is your son at this point? I mean, it's still so new.
My son at this point is not even a year.
Okay.
He's not even a year old while I'm doing while all these things are happening. And come to find out, I had a restrictive lung disorder. So
why not? Why not just put that on top of all the other things?
I have a lung disorder, but it's because I had a surgery when I was an infant.
Okay, yes.
And sometimes when you open up the body, studies show that it could stunt the growth of organs. So it stunted the growth of my lungs, and they were performing under 70%.
But you did all those sports and stuff too, and you didn't know?
Exactly. So clearly this is a normalcy of mine. And I did actually used to have to take an asthma pump, not knowing that this is what's going on. And that's why I felt like things weren't necessarily getting any better because I had this thing going on. And so back to me traveling then to Mayo Clinic and having 10 appointments. It was during that time that we started a different game plan for me. What I really love about Mayo Clinic and the cardiologists and folks that I go through is that they really believe in like having, is not necessarily always taking the medicine or medical, the medical side of things, more so trying some of the natural things too. And so I remember going there one time and my cardiologist was like, why don't you do Reiki or something? You need to do yoga or something, you know? And I was like, when am I going to have time for that? Me and him going back and forth. And that's just how we play, right? But going to Mayo Clinic really was an eye-opener for me. Because I also didn't realize that a lot of times, I mean, every time I'm coming in for my appointment, I'm kind of like the youngest patient there. And I have so much going on, but I've been able to get through all the things.
It's amazing.
All the things, and still stand here to have this discussion.
Yes.
So I really just want, like, if I could, moms to know, like, you are strong and you can do it. Anything that comes your way, it's just, like, I think you have to find the thing that helps you to have the strength, all right? So, like, for me, I did a lot of praying. I stayed in church. I was surrounded by my family and my friends. Even if you don't have family or friends, look for like a community group or just some place where you can find people who need people too, right? And I feel like that really helped me to get where I am today. My kids are everything to me, literally, and they really helped me to keep in mind. I don't, you know, families or parents used to say, you know, I would die for my kids. I tell people I live for my kids. It's a different thing. When you're actually dealing with what you're dealing with, I live for my kids. I would do anything to live for my kids, just so they know too that mommy puts in whatever fight she needs to ensure I'm here for a long time to be able to raise my kids.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And you are here.
Yes.
This is amazing, all of the things that you've been through.
Yeah.
So you still go to Mayo now?
Still go to Mayo Clinic now.
Kind of regularly.
Go regularly. I had a moment, I would say, when was that, January this year? We noticed that my heart failure was getting worse. Did some recent tests. Went to my primary doctor, and it looks like things are improving again.
Okay, good.
And so just seasons where my body is, you know, in a good spot and when it's not. And I've just been trying to do everything that I'm supposed to do. I realize the value of medication. So I tell, listen, I know.
Before that, did you value medication?
To a certain extent, let me share though.
Okay.
Because I was taking my medication on a regular basis, and it seemed like things were improving, right? And so my doctor said to do whatever I was doing before, which I was taking the medication inconsistently, but it caused for, once I went back to him, to be in a worse spot than I had been.
Oh, gotcha.
Like when I first went for a visit, it was worse than when I went for my first visit.
Okay.
So that's when he said, we got to go back. You got to do it every day.
Yeah.
But at that point, I had taken myself off of it because of the symptoms.
Oh, like side effects of the
side
medicine?
effects, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So some of the side effects included like exhaustion. I was like fatigue, barely could eat. I didn't have an appetite. And I also was on a water restriction. So I could literally only drink 2 liters of water a day.
Okay.
You never realize how much water you drink.
You love water if you can't have water.
Exactly. But you never realize like how much water you actually drink until you're actually on a restriction.
Yeah.
Because I drink a lot of water. But I will say that it's been life-changing with just some of the things that have come my way in the importance of medication. Sometimes medication, I understand why people stop taking it. You know, I've explained to my family and my friends, you know, the seriousness of heart failure, the seriousness of having all the things going on and stopping. That can really hit you hard, which it did for me. And I had to learn the hard way. But I thought it was because I was improving so well because I was doing it inconsistently. That meant that's why things are going good, because I'm kind of taking, no.
Yeah.
It's because the medication was in my system. And it's extended release medication.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. It's still working even if you're not taking the next dose.
Correct.
Isn't that curious how we can know, and this isn't just you, this is all of us, we can know something is detrimental for us. We can be assigned a protocol to help like mitigate that or make that better. And we will decide. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if you do this, this could improve. And then we say, I mean.
And that's the thing. It was so, I know, I agree, I get it, but it was so.
We all do it.
Yeah, it was just so hard. Like, just imagine though, you've been on medication, you're taking inconsistently, and you're improving.
Yeah.
And then he said, keep doing whatever you're doing, which I thought, okay, maybe.
Take it inconsistently. Yeah.
And then boom, I come back and it's worse than when I first came in, you know? So it's just like, I'm grateful for my cardiologist and having been able to have real conversation with him about like all the things pretty much concerning my health, and just making sure that we're doing everything possible to keep me in a good spot. Because I have something called compensated heart failure. So it's different types of heart failures.
Okay.
But I have something called compensated, and it's the medication really helping to compensate for all the things that's going on.
Okay.
And that's why they want me to take it consistently, because then we end up in a predicament where, like I said, things were getting worse. And also in January, I was taking the medication consistently, and it was getting worse at that time. But also stress plays a major factor, and also when things get worse. So I've been doing a lot more trying to ensure that I'm doing some type of self-care, because even as a single mom, you have to figure it out, right? Like whatever time you have available, like I tell, even if it's 10 minutes.
Yes.
Take time to go in the room, take a couple deep breaths, do some yoga, listen to your favorite song, write in your journal, do something, because it really does make a major difference. And I didn't realize that until dealing with all of this. I also have, so yes, I have all these things going on. I also have an enlarged heart and all the other things, but I tell people I think it's because all the love that I would give. And I didn't necessarily make sure that I took care of myself. So I just think it's really important to take care of yourself, no matter the circumstance as a mom, and really trying to also include structure. That really does matter too, because then you'll be able to have that time.
Yes. Structure and consistency are what you've talked about, and that applies to every area of life. You know, whether you're, and stress compounds everything. So the consistency piece, it's, if you show up every day and do that one little thing over time, that compounds and then creates a big thing. It's just difficult because we want to see the big thing. If I don't eat chips today, I want a result today. And that just isn't, that's not how life works. And surprise, you're doing something consistently every day, even if it's not your intentional thing that you want to be doing. You're consistently doing the undesirable habit. You're consistently not giving time to yourself. You're consistently stressed out. So you have the ability to be consistent. You just have to be intentional about your consistency, which is what you've talked about here.
And to add to all the things, I just graduated 2 weeks ago, my master's degree in special education, moderate to severe. So I'm also a goal getter, as I like to tell people. Like, I love accomplishing goals, and so no matter the circumstance, one of the joys is also being able to accomplish my goals and being able to, like, show my kids what I've done. Despite my circumstance. Your circumstance does not have to determine your future. Your circumstance does not have to determine your now. You have the power to change things.
And that is the completion of the master's degree where you had one month left?
No, actually.
This is your second?
Yes.
You have 2 masters?
I have 1.
Oh, but you had to go in a different,
I went to a different school.
Gotcha.
Because
but even that is more work.
It is.
Actually.
It is. Going to another school, and I felt like I was supposed to go to this school. Like, I tried to go back for my master's with the 1 month, and it seemed to be such a tedious process to just get back in. I went to the other school, seamless process. Because that's what I was supposed to do. And so
that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of myself.
You should be, despite everything. I mean, it's such a great example of, first of all, everything's temporary. Even if it feels long. Everything is temporary. So even if you can't finish and you have 1 month left, which, by the way, I have 2 master's degrees, and understanding like that you had 1 month left was like, that was hard for me to hear that for you.
Listen. I was devastated. Devastated. And then trying to go back, and it just seems like it's just not working out every single time. And I'm trying to, like, at that point, because I had the difficulty, I started to apply for other schools. And I just realized if something's not meant to be for me, it won't be for me, which that clearly I was not supposed to go back to school at that school because the process was nuts. I tried another school. Literally, I applied the day before the deadline. There were certain things that you needed, you know, in order to complete the process. And I talked to someone, they told me they gave me an extension. She never tells me what the date of the extension is. So then the next week she says, oh, we had to withdraw the application because you didn't complete the things. And I said, well, I was giving an extension with no date shared.
What does that mean?
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I just took the bad and just took it for what it was. Like, I just felt like at that point, I'm not supposed to be there.
There was so many roadblocks.
So many roadblocks for nothing. Well, for me to get to where I am today, right? To be able to say, I actually got my master's degree now. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Yeah, you did that.
Yes, thank you.
It's great. It's fantastic. And to recognize, too, I think sometimes I just created this ebook called Flow Not Force, and it was just a thought I had. It's not out or anything like that, but just trying to recognize that you don't have to fight, you know, to be alive, and you have to
Yes,
fight against all the
yes.
things that are trying to get in the way of you accomplishing your goals, and those things are important, but you don't have to force everything. Sometimes it's important to recognize when you're it's futile, you know, like you want this thing and you're just going after it, and it becomes tunnel vision, and now you're fighting on principle. Like, who even cares about the master's degree? Why is this so hard? And all of your energy and effort is going into that. And meanwhile, this other opportunity is over here that just like, the path is so much smoother. That doesn't mean give up on your goals.
Agreed.
You know, and it does take work to recognize that, but if you can do that, then that tunnel vision stress of just, you know, where you're putting all your energy, that can be less, and it can be redirected to something that
I think that's
different.
one of the hardest things I've also had to learn, though, as an adult. Like, let the things flow. If it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be. Because I was so used to being able to maneuver the roadblocks. Took a lot longer, but I was able to maneuver them and get certain things, and realizing that I didn't have to do all that.
Yeah.
That was ultimately a choice, and it should have been an indicator that this is not something that you really needed to do.
Right.
You know?
You're creating that.
Correct.
You're creating that need.
Correct.
But, you know, as somebody who is a goal person, you know, or somebody who likes to achieve, me too. I love an achievement.
Yes.
But I'm doing that to myself. So if
Yes.
that begins to make everything heavy and just difficult and stress-ridden, and that becomes hard for your family and all of that, you know, you might want to step back and go, like, the value of the achievement versus the value of, you know, stepping back and maybe shifting, or, you know, what is that worth to you?
Yes.
That is hard to slow down, though. And you had to be forced to do it. I mean, that's how serious
I feel
people
like
are, you know, about
there
achieving.
was so many situations where I was forced to.
Yeah.
But I think that was God's way of saying,
like, just slow down.
slow down, and that's not for you.
Yeah.
Just slow down. Because, like I said, I'm a go-getter, so I'm always going, right? And I think there's some power in being still.
There is. I'm recently learning this. It's hard. It's hard.
Very hard.
Yeah.
I can tell you. Very, very hard. But it's some power in being still sometimes. Because if it's not supposed to be for you, it's not supposed to be for you. And I really leaned into my faith a lot to get me through my journey of things too, and just like recognizing what it is, what things are, what are not supposed to be, and all the things. Because initially I just was just going.
Well, it's so helpful to have something, you know. So for you, it was faith and your family and friends. And like you mentioned, it's important to find some sense of community, because we need that in order to feel supported in the things, even if we're being still. You know, it's nice to know people see us, find value in us, are concerned about us, want to support us. So that's sage advice for everyone.
Yes.
So, okay, do you want to talk about the Facebook page that we can put up?
Yes. So I would love if everyone can go to follow or like Mari's Playground. It is a upcoming recreation center for children with special needs that I'm working on opening.
Yes.
I just think there's power in having a space for families who understand. And I think a lot of times we don't have that space, especially like in Milwaukee. There's other centers and things around, but I think it's a little different. It's further out, I should say, in suburb areas, and not necessarily directly in Milwaukee.
Oh, gotcha.
Where families could reach it. So my goal is to have that center where families can come, the kids can play, different services can happen there, and just to provide that safe space and a place for everybody that understands what exactly is going on.
How far are you in the process?
So I'm starting the process now. I wanted to finish my master's degree first.
Yeah, good job.
And not put any more work on myself. But I am right now looking into what the spaces that I can go into. And just, I have a plan. I've had a plan. This is just something that I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's a part of my plan. I know that when I connect with people, the amounts of folks that I connect with, even when I'm trying not to do the plan, right?
Yes.
Even when I decide, I say, I'm not going to do this right now, right?
Yeah.
I meet someone, hey, oh yeah, I do. I have a kid that has autism, and yes, there's no, okay.
Yeah. Even though you're not looking, it's being sent to you.
Yes.
That's flow,
yes.
by the way.
That's all I'm saying. It's just, it's something I'm supposed to do, and I know that. And so that's why I'm working on opening my center. And just like I said, I keep saying safe space because I really feel like it matters. There's not many places and spaces in Milwaukee where families could go to bring their child to actually have fun and do what they need and have those special things like the lights being able to dim and all the other things, because we know that really does matter when you have a kid who has sensory needs. And I feel like I'm grateful for some organizations or spaces who have recognized that you need a day for kids who have a sensory need, and things like the Betty Brand or even Chuck E. Cheese has developed something where they have a morning session. It's usually from like 8 to 10 on a Sunday or something like that, where families can go who have a kid that has
interesting.
ASD or sensory need or any type of need, and they dim the lights, they bring the sound down. So all those things really matter, and I feel like we don't have a lot of that there in Milwaukee, and it's needed. So my goal is to be able to provide families with resources, and just being able to be the helping hand, because I do it on a regular basis. That's actually a part of my daily role. I'm a family advocacy manager. That's all I do is advocate. And so it's something I know I'm supposed to do.
It's right in line with that.
Yes.
So if we go to the Facebook page, Mari's Playground, and then we can follow the page, and then we'll just watch for as that develops.
Updates. And so what I've been doing is posting about my journey with my daughter, and sharing some of her wins. So like, for example, just even this weekend, we had some first timers where she was, my son had a birthday party, and she was our DJ. She literally had my phone. It was playing all the music for the party and having the time of her life. She rode a mechanical bull this weekend for the first time, which was like a highlight to me, because it was, I mean, the video is hilarious because she keep going, oh my gosh. Like she was like freaking out, but trying not to freak out at the same time. Or like, even she walked a horse this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
She rode a pony. Like all these things were first timers for us. And so I just think it speaks to like all the growth. And my daughter, she loves even like roller coasters. Oh, she is a daredevil. I will say she love a good roller coaster and all the things where I'm not getting on. Okay, I watch from a side on the sideline.
Still, you be
being
still,
correct, and following instructions, because I know also when you have certain heart conditions and things, you're not supposed to.
Maybe don't go on a roller coaster.
Correct. And so I just sit from the sideline.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also offering those opportunities,
Yes.
you know, and maybe it's something she'll like and maybe it isn't, but you don't know unless you try.
Unless you try.
Yeah. So we'll follow the Facebook page, and then is that grant funded, or like you'll take donations as it gets closer?
Yep, I'll be willing to take donations, and I'm working on getting it grant funded.
Okay.
But I really wouldn't just make sure families, like I said, had that safe space, and also just being able to provide some sensory items, because I think that's something too where I'm not seeing a lot of places offer that, whether that's like the little chew toys, because sensory wise you need something, or the noise canceling headphones and things like that. And so my goal also is to make sure families are in the loop around different sensory items that they can have access to, and keeping it safe for the child.
That's awesome. Okay, well, we'll be watching for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And then before we go, anything else you want to say to parents or moms? Or, I mean, we've said a lot, but
we have said a lot. Keep going. I know it's hard to stop. I mean, I'll say I know it's hard to get up when you have stopped, but keep going. I know sometimes we fall into pits, we have moments, but keep going. Stand up. It's just a moment. All these things are moments. You have the power to get up and keep going. Because the truth is, our babies are watching us.
They need us.
They need us. And so just remember to keep going, stand up.
Very good. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and we'll watch your page and we'll see how that develops.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. Remember to keep your perspective, but don't be afraid to step into somebody else's to grow as a person, like we did with Tynetta today. Be resilient, show up. We just talked about that. It's important for you. It's important for your kids. It's important for all of us that you get up the next day, show up, keep going. Have a pursuit or an aim, that will help you align things in your life, and you'll be able to measure where you are and where you're going. And if you ever feel alone, remember there are 2 billion of us worldwide. You are not alone, and we are here for you.